7:35 on a Friday. Leon Alexander's here, part of Friends of Norfork National Fish Hatchery. Leon, welcome.
Well, good morning. Glad to be here.
Good to have you.
Tomorrow, you have a little event going on, huh?
Just a little teeny tiny event. It's the kids fishing derby. It's the annual.
Well,
fishing
I said
derby.
little. It's the kids fishing.
It's the kids fishing derby. Yes, not the big guys. It's the little guys. You got to be 15 years and under in order to be able to enter this. But this is kind of a special year because to our best calculations, and there wasn't really good records, but this looks like this is the 25th year for this.
Wow.
So in our friends group, we've only been an organization for the past 8 years. So we've been involved for the past 8 years, and then the hatchery kind of took it, originated it, and carried it up until the time we were able to come in and be involved with it. But we average about 200 to 250 kids.
Cool.
So last year it was kind of a rainy night the night before, but we still ended up with about 225 kids. The year before it was about 250, and so we're expecting, depending on the weather, we may lose a few, but we're expecting at least 200.
That's great.
So and again, the age group is 15, 15 and under.
But we want them with adult supervision and
stuff. Adult supervision.
Don't just come by and drop the kids off.
No. Yeah, they have to have adult supervision, and they have to bring their own gear.
Yeah.
And so we'll have people there to help. We'll have what we call fish marshals. So the fish marshals will help them as the kids, if they catch a fish, they yell fish on, and the fish marshal will come and help them catch the fish.
That's good.
And also, if they need a little special help in rigging or a little special help in casting or something like that, there'll be plenty of help there for that. But they do need to be prepared to bring their own equipment.
Mm.
So registration starts at 8 o'clock sharp, and I tell you what, everybody seems to line up pretty darn early.
They'll be lined up by 8 o'clock to be ready to go.
They really are. And then we'll have not a shotgun start. We don't have a gun or anything, but we do allow all the kids to start at exactly the same time. So getting there early and picking out a spot, that's not going to work. Everybody gets.
Tell them where to go and how to get there.
It's going to be at Quarry Park, which is the park directly below the dam across from the hatchery.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And where the boat ramp is, all the registration and everything will be at the top of the hill. And then, of course, the fishing will be down at the bottom of the hill.
Down by the campground down there.
Yes, by the campground.
Okay. And that's off of
177.
177.
177. So when you
Highway 5 south and take a left at the Y store.
At the Y store there. Yeah. And then just follow that right along, and then it'll be on the right-hand side.
Yeah, if you go up a hill, you've gone too far. You're over the dam.
Well, if you're driving along and you say, "Boy, I wonder what all those folks are doing there."
That's a good idea. That's a good idea.
That's it right there.
Good part. But at the end, and we'll fish till about noon. Depends. The younger groups, we don't fish as long. But we'll have hot dogs and chips and lemonade and all that sort of stuff, following that. And that will be for our volunteers, and it'll be for the parents and for the kids. And so after that, then we'll have the prizes, and we'll have trophies for each. We got 3 age classes, so there'll be trophies.
I bet those kids get a bang out of this, don't they?
Oh, they do. I tell you what, somebody was telling me, a fellow that he said, I'm really excited about this. He said, I'm just going to do it for the first time. He said, I love to help kids, fish and all this. And I said, one of the best things for me is to see these little guys.
Oh,
now, I'm talking about, 6 to 10. And they're catching their first fish, and you couldn't get a bigger smile on the kid.
That's right. Well, and that's so true. And it's so important for them to get that and get that first fish, and they're hooked for life. And I know it's a tag that they use, but they are.
Well, that is true. And the main thing we're trying to do is just get kids outdoors.
Yeah.
That's one of our main goals as our friends group and the hatchery. That's one of their outreach goals, is mainly just to get the kids involved in outdoor activities. And what better way to do it than on a Saturday afternoon or Saturday morning and go fishing and let the kids, if you're listening, drag your mom, drag your dad, drag your grandparents with you, and let's go out and have a good time.
Yeah. For the fishing, like barbless hooks or anything like that, is there
Barbless,
anything that they need to know before they get there?
Basically, it's all.
catch-
There is no. It's not catch and release.
Oh, okay.
No, if you catch it, you can keep it. Now,
Okay.
most of them do not, but yes, you can do that.
Okay.
But basically, this is the Arkansas Game and Fish Free Fishing Weekend. And essentially, all of our rules are the fishing, Arkansas Game and Fish fishing rules. So if you're going to catch rainbow trout, as an example, you're going to catch and keep, the limit's 5. You know, you're going to catch a brown trout, then I think it has to be like a minimum, and keep it, you're talking about a minimum of 24 inches. So all those rules still apply, but you can catch and keep. So, you know, just however you want to come prepared. If you want to have the most fun, bring a barbless hook and just keep catching fish.
Just keep catching.
Just
That's
keep
right.
catching. So that's the best way to do that.
No small task. That's why it's called fishing and not always catching.
That is true. although, you know, we do try to stack the deck a little bit. I mean, you know, the hatchery is really good about putting stocking a bunch of trout right in, and this is what I love. The kids are all gathered out, you know, it's getting close to 9 o'clock, and what do you see rolling away? Kids, please step aside, step aside. Here comes the fish truck. So it comes rolling through the crowd down the hill, and they're all peering down the hill, and then all these fish are dumped into the river right there, you know, in front of their very eyes. So, and they do several loads in this.
Wow.
So it's, you know, it really is a fun time.
And the fish hatchery is actually so important to us here in the Twin Lakes area.
In more ways than most people realize.
Right.
I mean, it is one of the big economic drivers of, you know, of our area.
This is a federal program that actually makes money. I know it seems an alien concept, but we actually make money with this.
You know, when we start talking about our funding woes and the threats of being closed and all this that we've been kind of enduring really for the past 5 years intently, you know, and then you stop and take a look back and say, well, what is the contribution? And the contribution basically is for every dollar actually spent on the hatchery, you know, to keep it up and running, there is a $100 payback.
Yeah.
If you own the business, would you like to have $100 for every dollar you spend? I mean, it really is insane that they would take something like a government agency.
And I think that's why they're so confused with it, Leon.
Yeah, I know. First of all, a government agency making money instead of spending
Exactly.
money.
That's what I think is the issue. They just can't comprehend that.
They haven't figured out a way to mess this up yet, have they?
Well, they've tried.
They're trying.
Times. Yeah, they have.
They're really trying.
And then Senator Crawford has introduced a bill.
He has, and it's,
Excuse me, Congressman Crawford.
Congressman Crawford. He has indeed done that, and it is to basically secure the funding. The way it's happened here, it just a very short history here. First of all, the hatchery, Norfork Hatchery and Greers Ferry both are federal hatcheries, which means they come under the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service. Several years back, the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service, you have a change of presidents, you have a change of directors. So we had a new director come in. Well, his vision was, we do not need to be in the fishing business. So therefore, my goal is to close the hatcheries, period, across the board. So where do you start? Well, the easy place to start is the mitigation hatcheries. Now, these 2 hatcheries in Arkansas are mitigation hatcheries, which simply means that they were created to replace a species that was eliminated when they put the dams in.
Mm-hmm.
So now you've got another entity, which is the U.S. Corps of Engineers. So it was easy for the U.S. Fish and Wildlife to say, hey, we're paying for something that somebody else did. In other words, they wanted to try to push it off on the Corps of Engineers. Well, long story short, it has kind of evolved to that. The Corps of Engineers has stepped up, and for the past several years, they have actually been funding the mitigation hatcheries. If it wasn't for them, the U.S. Fish and Wildlife would have closed these hatcheries.
Yeah.
But here's the problem: that they are continuing to do that, but there's no mandate. There's no mandate. There's no rules. There's no regulations. There's no legislation that says thou shalt do this. So if we have another turnover, we have a new president, we have a new director of the the Corps of Engineers, mean, all they got to say is, hey, we're not getting any money out of this. We're going to stop doing this.
Yeah.
So what this bill does is it outlines, it makes it a law that the Corps of Engineers will work with U.S. Fish and Wildlife to fund these mitigation hatcheries. Now that's step one. And what's happening is that we were successful in mounting such an opposition to these closures that they pretty much said, well, we kind of give up on it. You know, we're getting paid for it, so now we don't have a whole lot to say left. So now they're starting to look around at all the other hatcheries in the federal system, and they're trying to systematically close them also. So it's a problem. It's a problem. But this bill would be the first major step in trying to secure it and just kind of take that threat away that we have to endure every single year.
Yeah, it's House Resolution 2235.
Yes.
The National Mitigation Fisheries Coordination Act. It says addresses the uncertainty of hatchery funding. In the past, different federal agencies have traded the responsibility of these hatcheries back and forth, and the uncertainty created by that current system or the lack thereof keeps the hatcheries constantly concerned about remaining open. Congressman Crawford's bill would emulate the successful mitigation programs in the western states by requiring water development agencies to reimburse the hatcheries.
That's correct. And see, what we have here is not just the Corps of Engineers. It's the Corps of Engineers for us. Mm-hmm. In the southeast, Georgia, and down there, they have TVA. And out west, they have Bonneville and what's the other? Bureau of Land Management. Now, the people out west already had this agreement. So that's something, and that's the model that we're trying to
work off of that precedent and try to get it here.
And then TVA is another situation into itself because they're not really a federal agency. They're
TVA, Tennessee Valley
Tennessee
Authority?
Valley.
Yeah, they're kind of a quasi-government agency, but they're kind of independent.
Yeah, yeah.
But Senator Alexander from Tennessee was able to negotiate a 3-year deal with TVA to support their hatcheries and their tailwater hatcheries. And I just received an email from a newsletter from Senator Alexander's office that they have been able to extend that. But here again, this overlaps that.
Yeah.
And would also include the TVA system into this.
And that's probably what you need. The power of all of them being bound together would make a big difference, is because that's what they're trying to do, is pick off the individual fisheries.
Right. Yeah.
That's that's the way things
You have a whole bunch of brush fires.
Exactly. So we want to show that we're a raging forest fire here, and that we can get stuff done.
There we go.
Let's go ahead and take a quick break. Visiting with Leon Alexander, Friends of Norfork National Fish Hatchery. Be right back. 7:51. Continue our discussion about the Norfork National Fish Hatchery and the hatchery at Heber Springs. Leon?
Yes, sir.
The importance. Go ahead, Bob.
Well, I was going to say just Friends of the North Fork. Friends of the North Fork.
Say that real quick 3 times.
Yeah, I know. That's you guys do a lot of work, and obviously this is a big program for you guys, you girls that are involved in this. And what else do you do besides, you got the fishing derby for the kids this weekend? What else do you guys do?
Well, let me stop real quick here, because one of the things that's very important to our success is our volunteers.
Right. Okay.
I mean, this event that we're going to put on Saturday, the kids fishing derby Saturday, we'll probably have somewhere in the neighborhood of 40 to 50 volunteers.
That's great. That's great.
Just for that one event. We have 2 big events a year. This is one of them. And then we have in the fall, we have the Hatchery Outdoor Adventure, which I'll have an invitation to come back.
Yeah.
And that thing has just mushroomed. I mean, we're only in this will be, I think, our 4th year. And it started off with maybe 100 kids or so, and we thought, well, we'll try to get up to 200. Well, last year it was over 500.
Wow.
550
Are you
kidding? No. And the events grow each year, so we're expecting.
Where'd you put them on? Was that?
Well, we have a lot of room at the hatchery. You know, you go past the raceways, and there's a lot of land back there that we have access to. And essentially, what the Outdoor Adventure, I don't want to get too much into it, but essentially what we have is individual vendors that have activities going on, and typically it's around 20 or so. So the only requirement is that when a kid comes to a booth, they have to do something. They have to be involved in some sort of activity.
And it's great.
It is, and it's a
Get
variety.
them out.
It's a variety of activities, and the kids just absolutely love it because they can pop from this to this to this to this, and you never can tell. They may take a liking to one particular sport or
Sure,
one
pick up
particular
something
activity.
they never knew they had an interest
Yeah,
in.
yeah. So it here again, it's just getting the kids outdoors.
What I enjoy seeing, I was over at a friend's house, and his 18-year-old son was walking out the door carrying his tackle box and fishing pole.
Oh yeah.
You know,
You know what a sad. Let me tell you a sad sight. First of all, we have Dry Run Creek, which was one of our big projects. We spent it was about $150 resurrection of that Dry Run Creek, of which about 50,000 of it came from us. But the kids have to be, again, 15 and under in order to be able to fish on Dry Run Creek. Well, that's where it is not unusual to have a 10 or 12-year-old catch a 24, 28-inch rainbow or cutthroat out of there every single week.
Wow.
So one of the saddest things you'll ever want to see is a kid on his 16th birthday. He comes down there. I can't come here anymore. And I tell you, they get enthusiastic about it. They come down at 12, and then they'll come back every year. And you go, particularly during the summertime, it's just crowded down there because the families come down.
Yeah.
And dads and mothers and everyone bring their kids to really just have.
And what a
great time.
concept, the family outing.
Yeah.
Where the family comes. It's
Oh,
not,
yeah.
it's not where little Johnny's running around in a field someplace. The family's together.
Yep.
They're interacting. They're talking. Wow.
Yeah,
And they're doing it with their mouth, not with their thumbs. It's a great, I'm shocked.
final 45 seconds, gentlemen. Leo?
Well, I just encourage everybody to come out Saturday. Again, just to remind everybody, registration starts at 8 a.m. at Quarry Park. Fishing will start at 9. Bring your own gear. Be sure you have a parent with you. And just come and enjoy the day.
Bob?
There you go. You have any real estate questions? Give us a call. Oh, obviously, that's what we do. We're here to help people and help people succeed in their journeys as well,
You bet. And the Clark Ridge Volunteer Fire Department's having a pancake breakfast next Saturday, the 20th, starting at 7:30, lasts till 11 a.m. Bring Dad out for biscuits, sausage, gravy, pancakes, ham, sausage, the whole 9 yards. $7 adults, $3.50 children 12 and under. Then come back at 6:30 for a free movie at Clark Ridge Volunteer Fire Department. We appreciate all of our volunteers in the fire departments.
And
Couldn't
the
do without 'em.
volunteers that do everything. You say the volunteers for you, just the volunteers for everyone. Thank you all.
We'll see you on Monday. Have a great weekend, everybody.